Seen how to use Zapier to connect Google Forms to Trello cards, but wouldn't it be great if we use Zapier to connect an input from a Google form directly to create a new matter in Clio? So that's what we're going to do this time. I'm starting back here at the Zapier homepage, and you can see all the integrations that Zapier has and all the apps we can work with. I'm going to create a new Zap. And my input's going to come from a Google form again. I can click that right here, or because I recently used Google Forms, but if I hadn't, I could search for Google Forms and see it appear here. Select Google Forms, and I want a new response in the spreadsheet for Google Form to appear as a Clio matter, so I select New Response. And it shows me the Google account that I've already linked to Zapier. If I hadn't linked my account already, I could click that button. I'm just going to test to make sure my link between my Google account and Zapier still works. It does. And then I'm going to select the spreadsheet I want to connect to. So I've already got my Google form, the contact form we used previously. And when I look at responses, I can get to the spreadsheet that has all the responses in it. This is a spreadsheet I want to connect from. So it's called Zapier Form Responses, and the actual worksheet is called Google New Matters. So back in Zapier, I'll select my Zapier Form Responses file, and the actual worksheet is the Google New Matters. And then I'll continue. And now I need to tell it what I want to do with the data it gets from that form. So first it's going to check and make sure that it actually can pull data from that Google form. So I need at least one entry on that Google form for Zapier to test with. And I'm going to have it fetch data from that form just to check and make sure it can. And Zapier was able to pull data from that Google form. Great. So let's continue. Now I need to tell it that I want to send that new form information to Clio. So I can search for Clio in the app to connect to. And then in Clio, I want to create a new matter from the Google form input. So I'm going to select Create Matter. And continue. Now I need to connect my Clio account to Zapier. I've already made that connection, but if you hadn't, you can select Connect an Account. I'm just going to test and make sure that connection is still valid. And yes, it's able to connect to my Clio account. Great. So I'll save and continue. And now I need to set the properties of that new matter that Zapier is going to create from that Google form. So the matter status will be open. For the client name, I'll pick the name from that Google form that was submitted. Client email, I can use the email field from that form. And then description of matter, I'm just going to write that this is a new matter from Google form. There's all the other settings I can set in Zapier for the new matter in Clio. I do want to be billable, and I'm just going to actually tell it that I want the responsible attorney to be me. So I'm going to enter my name here, and it should pull my name from the attorneys that are available in Clio. And continue. Now I can review all the settings I set up in Zapier, and then it will use that information to create a test new matter in Clio to make sure that Zapier can successfully send data to Clio, and that was successful. So now I've connected a Google form to a client matter in Clio. I can just finish now, and I'm going to name this Zap, and to be descriptive, I'm going to call it Google Form to Clio, and make sure it's turned on. And now every 15 minutes, Zapier will look at that Google form, and if it sees a new entry, it'll create a new client matter in Clio. I can go back to my dashboard, and I can see all those apps that I have, and one of them is called Form to Clio. Finally, I can check in Clio to make sure that data is coming in correctly, and my example was with Jake, and I've got a new matter with Jake in my Clio.